I'd like to introduce my friend and guest on your show today, Greg, Pastor Gerard Bouffard. Welcome, Gerard.
Welcome you, Eric, and welcome everyone in here.
A pleasure to have you. Pastor Bouffard resides in Quebec, so his native language is French, so he does have a broken accent.
Maybe you can give us a little background of his, how many years he was in the Catholic Church, and also, I believe he was Bishop of Guatemala, correct?
Yes. I'm not sure the answer to that question. Maybe, Gerard, maybe you'd like to start about your beginnings there as a priest, if you would.
Yes, I was doing my study in Rome because I was an orphan boy, and in the Catholic Church in Quebec, when we are adopted people, you know, we are not allowed to become a priest, but I had to go to Rome to do my study, and I was 6 years in Rome. And to pay my study, I was working in the Vatican. That's why I had that opportunity to work inside the Vatican. And the office, they named that, in this time, they have to name that the Holy Office. In 1983, they changed that for the Office of Protection of the Faith. And I was there. And after that, when the Pope came in, John Paul II came in Mexico for the conference of the Bishop of Latin America, I was traveling with him, and during the traveling we had a discussion together, and in his way back from Rome, we talked very hardly in the plane, and when I reach Rome, I take the plane and I'm coming back in Quebec, and I get safe and in Quebec, and I leave the church in 1977, and after that I'm born again, and now I'm serving the Lord in the gospel.
Well, listen, Pastor, I have to take a break right now, and Eric, a 4-minute break, but I want to get back and find out what you learned about the Vatican, why you left the church, and also all these things about Father Alberto Rivera. We'll be back in 4 minutes on the Investigative Journal. We established the bishop's role as a priest. A number of years he worked in the Vatican as a confidant also to the Pope, and then also his experience as a bishop of Guatemala and over in Africa. So go ahead, Eric, pick up where you left off.
Okay, he was a bishop in Guatemala, and then he was a priest for many years in Africa in 9 languages. Gerard, when I visited you, you showed me your sword of the Knights of Columbus. Could you tell me a little bit about the Knights of Columbus and what your oath, and are you a 4th degree? Were you a 4th degree Knight of Columbus?
Knight of Columbus, that's for normally that's for the Catholic peoples. They have four degrees. Normally the people they take 3 degrees, and after that, when they have the money and they want to be in charge and have more power, they go to New Haven to receive the 4th degrees.
It's New Haven, Connecticut?
The 4th degrees, that's just symbolic, But the Knight of Columbus now in Quebec, they lose a lot of their powers, Before they was like a guard, like a soldier for the church, and taking honor when the bishop was visiting a parish, something like that. But now, no, they do a social thing, they collect money to help the poor people, and they are going slowly, down.
Mm-hmm. I see.
But in this time, they was powerful. When we was arrested by the police, by example, you just do the sign, and if the police was the Knight of Columbus, they say, I don't give you a ticket, but be careful next time, I have to give you a ticket. When the Knight of Columbus have to go to court, by example, he do a sign, a special sign to the judge, and they arranged that because they was brothers,
Mm-hmm. What is the relationship of the Knights of Columbus to the Jesuits?
Oh, the Knights of Columbus and the Jesuit, Ignatius of Loyola found the Jesuit to check the church. The General Superior of the Jesuit order, we call him the Black Pope. He's the one running the church in the background,
So you think
in the shadow.
So the Black Pope really runs the Vatican.
And that's why the Jesuit order tried to take the secret orders inside of the Catholic system to have more control in the church, in the public, in the company, and in the world. They infiltrate the world by secret orders, like a Knight of Columbus, Freemasonry, Carbonaries, and that all come from Illuminati's organization, to organize the world's government.
And so, if I just may add something here, Eric, while I'm listening, what I'm hearing from you, Pastor, is that the Jesuits behind the scene, through the Black Pope, actually control the Vatican, correct?
Yes, they are controlling the Vatican. Just like the things the Pope says last week, normally the Jesuits suppose each sermon the Pope suppose, or each conversation the Pope have to do in public, they have to check that, because they don't accept the Pope do some error, some mistake, and they didn't check what he says, and what is the impact of his last sermon in Germany, against the Muslim and everything. That's because the Jesuit, they never check his preach.
Mm-hmm.
The Jesuit, they supervise everything in the church. Nothing's go out if it's not supervised by the Jesuit.
Now, you learned this from your days in Rome, correct?
Yes, because when I was working, I was rector of the Holy Office in Rome. I had to contact the Jesuit every day, and I was in charge of the secret document in the Vatican, in the Holy Office, and I was not allowed to send out any document before that document was checked by a Jesuit, by a Jesuit priest. They have to supervise everything. They run the church secretly. That's why we call their superior the Black Pope,
Well,
He's the shadow of the Pope.
Shadow of the Pope. You told me, Gerard, that you had also been, while you were a priest, you'd also been brought into the Masonic Lodge. You were also a Mason. Could you tell us about that and the degrees that you were?
I was in 37 degrees. Yes. In the Masonry, first of all, I had the 31st degrees, 33 first degrees. I was a priest, normal priest. But when I came in charge in the Vatican, from the first degree to the 33 degrees, that's normal people. 34, 35, 36 degrees, they are the elders of the great company, multinational company like Air Canada, traveling company, banks, big like a Ford company in the United States, Chrysler. They are in the 36 degrees. In 37 degrees, they are all members of the clergy. Roman Catholic, Jews, Protestant, Hindu, Muslim, they are all in the 36, 37 degrees. They are all from religious
So would you say that all the high priests in the papacy, as well as the high Protestants like Billy Graham, and the high Muslims like the El Saud dynasty, and the high Jews, the high Jewish chief rabbis? Would you not say that the majority are all Masons?
No, not the majority of them, but each religion, they had to have a representative in the Freemasonry degrees, in 36, 37 degrees. 38 degrees, they are more closer, you know. We don't know at 37 degrees who is in the 38 degrees. And the top is 39 degrees. And, you know, Freemasonry, they work with two pyramids. One in North America and one in Europe. Mm-hmm. And the 38 degrees, they are two peoples. One from North America pyramid and the other from European pyramid. And the 39 degrees is the supreme chief of the Freemasonry. And the last chief I know was Paul VI, the Pope Paul VI. He was the only Pope, and all the story of the Church, you know, his hat is supposed to have 3 crowns. That's why they call that in Latin tiara. That means 3 crowns. But Paul VI had 4 crowns, because the 4th one was the ward chief of the Freemasons.
Pope Paul VI, through Bishop Bouffard's recollections, was actually a 39th degree Mason. Unbelievable. Go ahead and pick it up from there, Eric. Are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Go ahead.
You know what I says. You know, I don't say brother Billy Graham or he was Mason, but I says, you know, the Jesuit, they infiltrate the Christian church, but through the Mason, they infiltrate the big organization, like a Baptist organization, Baptist church, Pentecostal church, Adventist church. They infiltrate the big system to control the system. And many of their pastors or their leaders, they don't know they are infiltrated by the Jesuits through the secret orders, you know. The secret orders, they are created to infiltrate the people and to know what is going inside the heart of each organization, to control, to make that's a world government, you know. That's their way to control. They infiltrate the church, they infiltrate the congregation, and they know everything is going inside. And they can, and with that they can play their card and they organize their thing, you know.